The moment her hands began to shake, everyone in the busy cafe simply stared. It was the kind of silence that cuts deeper than noise. Mira had been trying for nearly a minute to communicate with the barista, her fingers moving in desperate patterns, her expression tightening with frustration and embarrassment. People around her exchanged confused glances, some whispering, some sighing impatiently. No one understood her, no one even tried, and just when her heart sank into that familiar loneliness, thinking this was yet another place where her voice felt invisible, a man stepped forward from the corner of the room, watching her with eyes that didn't pity her, but recognized her. If you believe kindness and second chances still matter in this world, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps these stories reach more hearts. Mira had lived her entire life inside a quiet world that wasn't always kind to her. Being deaf wasn't the hard part. The hard part was being surrounded by people who treated her hands like a foreign language. She had moved to Denver only 3 months ago, hoping for a fresh start after years of isolation in her hometown. She worked remotely, kept to herself, and found comfort in small routines, like sitting by the cafe window every morning. But communicating basic things with strangers was still exhausting. Most days she tried to be strong. Today she was simply tired. As Mira's hands dropped in defeat, the man walked toward her with gentle confidence. He looked about her age, maybe mid-30s, dressed simply in jeans and a soft grey t-shirt. His name, she would later learn, was Aaron, a single dad who often stopped by after dropping off his son at preschool. But in this moment, all she saw was someone who wasn't confused by her movements, someone whose gaze held understanding. The moment he lifted his hands and signed, "Do you need help?" Mira froze. It had been so long since someone spoke to her in her language without hesitation. Her relief was instant, overwhelming, and emotional, filling her chest with a warmth she hadn't felt in years. Aaron patiently helped her order her coffee, signing every word smoothly, naturally, with clear familiarity. The barista watched in awe as the tension in Mira's face unraveled into gratitude. Mira sat down at her usual table, still dazed, still processing the unexpected connection. Aaron didn't intrude. He simply nodded politely and went back to his seat across the room. But Mira found herself watching him from time to time, noticing how kind he seemed, how he held himself with a quiet strength that hinted at his own battles. Something about him felt safe, like a light switched on in a dim hallway of her life. The next morning Mira returned, half hoping she'd see him again, half telling herself not to expect anything. But there he was, smiling softly, signing good morning. It felt surprisingly natural to walk toward him. They talked for nearly an hour, their hands dancing in the air between them. She learned he had a 5-year-old son named Noah, and Aaron had learned sign language years ago for a childhood friend who had since moved away. He admitted he hadn't used it in a long time, but speaking with her made the forgotten motions come back easily, almost instinctively. The days turned into a pattern. Each morning, Aaron and Mira met at the same cafe, sharing stories through their hands and their eyes. He told her about raising Noah alone after his wife passed away 3 years earlier, and how the world became heavier and quieter for him too afterward. Not in the way Mira experienced silence, but in the emotional emptiness that followed grief. Mira shared her struggles adjusting to a hearing world that never slowed down for her, and how she often felt like she existed on the outside of life, watching through a window. Their connection deepened not through dramatic events, but through small moments. Aaron remembering her favorite drink and ordering it before she arrived. Mira teaching him new signs to express feelings he never had words for, both of them discovering comfort in each other's presence without needing sound. The first time Aaron brought Noah to meet her, Mira's heart melted. Noah stared at her hands in wide-eyed wonder as she signed hello, and then turned to his father, eager to copy every motion. When he proudly signed friend, Mira nearly teared up. Aaron noticed and gave her a reassuring smile that said more than words ever could. One afternoon, as the three of them sat near the cafe window watching snow drift across the street, Mira felt something shift, a realization settling deep within her. For years she had carried loneliness like a weight strapped to her chest, believing her world would always be divided from everyone else's. But here, with a gentle man who saw her heart before her silence, and a little boy who saw her hands as magic rather than strange, She felt something she hadn't felt in a very long time. Belonging. Still, fear clung to her. She worried Aaron might see her disability as a burden. She worried she might someday feel like an obligation. She worried life would remind her she was different. But those fears slowly faded the more Aaron showed up, not just physically, but emotionally. He asked her about her dreams. He encouraged her to try things she once avoided. He made her feel understood in a way the world rarely did. One evening, as they walked through a quiet Denver park, she noticed Aaron watching her with an expression she didn't recognize at first. Something tender, vulnerable, almost afraid. Then he lifted his hands and signed, "I'm thankful for you, more than you know." Mira felt her breath catch. She signed back, hands trembling, "You changed my world." Aaron reached for her hand and held it gently, without rushing, without pressure. Just the simple warmth of someone who wasn't letting go. In that moment, silence wasn't loneliness. Silence was safety. Silence was connection. Silence was love. Weeks later, Mira sat with Noah on the living room floor of Aaron's cozy apartment, teaching him a new sign for the word family. When Aaron saw them from the kitchen doorway, his eyes softened. Mira knew then that the life she had once imagined as impossible was unfolding right in front of her, slowly, beautifully, and unexpectedly. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world. Before the ending, here's a special request. Comment below with one word that describes how this story made you feel.